Window flashing was to be carried out on a chlorination building at the Baraka nuclear power plant. The method of work was to use a mobile crane with a man basket carrying the work group who would apply the self-screw panel fixings. This is the crane operator. The rest of the team were a two-man maintenance crew who would go some 7.5 meters up in the basket to do the work, and two additional laborers who were tagline holders on the ground, helping to keep the basket steady. As the work began, the crane operator lowered the crane boom to an angle of less than 50 degrees so that the man basket would reach the work area. The manufacturer's load chart showed that extending the boom and jib to the maximum length, that's 41.2 meters plus 7.8 meters, with a 5-degree offset angle from the main boom, gives a maximum safe distance covered of 32.1 meters. The maximum load that can be lifted with this setting is 0.65 ton, but every crane has limitations. This crane's safe working radius was just over 32 meters. On this shift, it was extended to more than 34 meters, and its safe working lift load was 500 kilos. It was actually being used to lift 900 kilos, including the man basket, the two workers, and their materials and accessories. Inside the crane operator's cabin, two safety features were being bypassed. The power takeoff or PTO switch, which controls the crane computer system and alarm functions, was in the off position. The PTO switch is only turned off when you use the crane wheels for driving, which means the crane is not being used for lifting. The main bypass switch was in the on position. This meant all safety devices and features of the crane were effectively switched off, including the protection hood that prevents the crane from accidental movement and the PTO switch keeping the wheels locked. As a result, the crane toppled over, the boom and basket falling to the ground and landing in a trench. All the men were hit by the boom or man basket. The rigger in the basket was killed instantly, while the metal worker was pronounced dead on arrival at hospital, after the man basket fell on him. The other two laborers were also injured, one needing hospital treatment for their injuries, the other suffering a lost time injury. The specific technical reasons for the crane collapse are clear, but the inquiry that followed identified 18 contributing causes that led to the fatal accident. Let's focus on the top causes that were highlighted. The crane was correctly certified using British standards BS 7121-2-1 2012 and BS 7121-2-3 2012, but was not certified to be used to lift the man basket, which had been wrongly certified using BS EN 840-5 2004 for mobile waste containers. The man basket should have been correctly certified using BS EN 14502-1 2010. There was a work method statement and a job hazard analysis, but these were not specific to the actual task. There was no mention made of rated lifting capacity or safe working radius, and no specific rigging plan for this activity. At the work planning stages, potential hazards and risks were not identified by the responsible teams. For example, the trench below the building wall that trapped the victims and the possibility of wind during crane movements. The crane operator's job knowledge for lifting work was inadequate. Nobody verified that the load was within the safe working limit. Supervisors and managers failed to make sure that lifting hazards were explained to the workforce. The foreman did not complete the mandatory supervisory training. The actual lifting procedures had provisions that could cause confusion for the operator. It emerged that when the plans were drawn up for the lifting work, the checklist should have been signed off by the supervisor and the foreman. What actually happened was the foreman signed off for his supervisor. The plans also expected the basket weight to be well within the crane's limit, but it was not. The comprehensive action plan that was drawn up after this incident deals with these failings one by one, and all firms involved in lifting operations should do likewise to avoid such incidents. No person will be lifted in the man basket if the total weight is more than 50% of the safe working load. Operations on windy days are restricted, and the speed of the lift will be controlled. The HSE lifting plan has been created in a new user-friendly format to ensure clarity. Training in lifting procedures will be carried out with annual refreshers at all levels. Regular inspections and internal audits will take place and will be part of the contractor's key performance indicators. Toolbox briefing forms for staff and subcontractors will deal with specific issues at each task location, and HSE signs and warnings will be posted around all sites. If you are in charge of lifting operations, make sure you take the same precautions. Or if you're a worker who's involved in working at height, check anything that you are not sure of with your supervisor. Don't put yourself or others at risk. Safety is everyone's responsibility.